Good morning, everybody. 9:31 at the moment. Good morning. It is the 11th of October. To all our streamers on YouTube, thanks for joining me this morning. This is the Quick Trade Trading Room session. It's the morning one. We have the afternoon recap still coming at 4 p.m. obviously. Just a few notes, guys, as always, for the purposes of legalities and regulations. It's important for us as a brokerage to mention these things. This obviously puts trust in the financial sector and ultimately puts trust in us as a FSP. All right. It's very important for you guys to know these things, and it is a constant. There are just certain things within the law that one must adhere to. Otherwise, the consequences become unbearable. And such is life, that there are certain things you should also consistently do. So don't forget that we have cutoff for withdrawals as well there. These are important things. Mondays to Fridays at 1500 hours. And whenever you're trying to make a withdrawal on a Saturday morning, it's going to be at 9 a.m. That's the cutoff there. All right. So goeiemorgen. I'm seeing quite a bit of activity. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to dig right into. Good morning. Good morning. There's Gert, Philip, Mike, Cheryl, Clive, Galaxy, Sephora, Solly, Charmaine, Vanelle, Petro, Brenton, Tato, Magdalene. All right. Mr. W's there. Colesen is there. Herbert is there. Tabang, Jabula, Anya, Isabel, Willem, the Bone Collector. There's Rodney, Schiff, Tabisang, Googs. All right, I'm just mentioning a couple of names. Gerard is there. Mapai is there. Are you guys ready to? Are you ready to rumble? Let's just make sure everybody's okay. We still got about 2 minutes, and then we can officially start. So there are a few more guys coming online, and don't forget your phases here. Accumulation phase, your breakout phase, and your movement phase. These are different stages of the market as it relates to price movement. And so people trade these different stages with different strategy. That's very important to mention. All right. You traded, Liatle, good morning. They traded with different strategy, approach, method, whichever word you want to use for to define what it is that you're doing. All right, good morning. All right, the guys are ready. I'm seeing good mornings, but I'm not seeing readies. I'm seeing a lot of mornings, but I'm not seeing readies. Are the guys ready? I only see a bonga that says ready. Okay. Because we can say morning, but we need to be ready for the session as well. All right. Wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you very much. That's what we want to see. All right. So let's slice this one into 2 parts. All right. The first part, what we will do is let's go through our customary routine. Is everybody cool with that? Let's do our indices. Let's see what's happening with the commodities. Let's do our dollar pairs. Let's see if there's anything else. Then we'll then go to part 2 where we deal with these pivots, because I don't want to rush the pivots on the account of not having looked at different securities. Everybody clear with that, guys? Everybody fine? Let's have some consensus. And then we know we can spend some time. If there are questions, I can obviously then adhere to them more effectively. Is everybody clear? You can see I'm also taking my time in a sense where I'm trying to get all the words out correctly so that we bring total understanding to everybody here. All right. So I'm ready to go. I have a bit of concerns on that dollar. I don't know about you guys. I have a bit of concerns on that dollar after seeing that close yesterday. And I'll show you what the concern is. And once again, to the guys that are joining me on YouTube later on, please enjoy the session. All right, so here we go. I'm a bit concerned about this dollar although I still see, and I'm still pro dollar, still see dollar strength to 117 and 119. I still see it. But the concern is that there are now 3 days here of upward movement, and Gert, these candles are getting smaller. So from a momentum perspective, that is, to me, concerning. Now, the word concerning should never alarm you. The unfortunate part is when someone says they are concerned, it does alarm people. Does it make sense? A concern has a solution. It is just a concern, but there's a solution. All right? So we have these 3 days here of momentum that's pushing up, and it is clear that we are currently seeing the dollar struggle at the zone here. Is everybody on board with that? Is everybody understanding that? Yes, we saw the kickback from the non-farm payrolls. It was good. Unemployment rate there went down. Are we together? High, meaning higher, better. All right. So here there was some strength that came in. We closed above the 112. We do see the 114, but please remember that this was a previous resistance. And I said in that video that I made yesterday, even about the dollar, I said, if we break the 114, we move up to 117, 119. At this point, we need to break it. We are struggling on the way there. Now, can I please show you what this could look like? Keywords there, could look like. Are you guys ready? It could look like this. All right. Could meaning it can go either way. So it can look like this, and it comes down again. Is everybody clear there? It could. Now, you guys have been with me before, and we've seen the opposite happen. We've seen this happen. Look. It looked like it was a double top. Top one, top two. You guys have seen this happen, all right? But then this happens. Watch. This happens. Price goes up, and then it hovers around this area here. Are we together? And then boom. Is everybody clear? So there are two things there that could happen. It's either it becomes a continuous movement. Ash, what's a continuous movement? Price gets to a resistance. Are we together? Price pauses within that momentum at a resistance, and then it breaks out, not creating the pattern that one would assume is for the downside. So continuous is continuous. We are continuing in that momentum up. Is everybody clear there? So there's two things that could happen here. Either we have a continuation, or we're going to push up. Is everybody clear? We're going to push up. We hit that specific resistance, double top, and then come back down again. Now, I want to leave those two options there. I don't want to take them off. I want to see which one plays out. Either way, we are still pro-dollar. We are still pro-dollar. It doesn't matter. Does it make sense, everybody? We are just analyzing what could possibly happen. We are still pro-dollar, but we want to see which of these ones play out. So I'm leaving it right there. I'm leaving it right there. Now, what happens if option one, which is the blue here, that was the first one I discussed. What happens when the blue option happens? Because if the blue option happens, or the blue, or option one, that happens, then obviously that affects the charts. Ash, what does it affect? It's going to affect these securities here. Is everybody clear there? Let us firstly start off with the dollar pairs here. Can you guys see here from a daily perspective? Sorry, USD Swiss franc. Look at this already. That's why I said I'm concerned about that for now. Because look at what this specific USD Swiss franc is doing. It is rejecting exactly at the place that I highlighted with you guys yesterday. Can you guys see that? It's rejecting exactly at that place. Once again this morning, goes up and comes back down again. Now that's a 1 hour chart. That's a 1 hour chart. When you go to the higher time frames, you will start seeing the rejection. Now, Ash, where's the rejection actually coming from? Can someone quickly jump in here? Because I want to make sure that everybody's on my side. All right, who's not clear? All right, okay, everybody's clear. Where is the rejection coming from? From which side is the rejection coming? I'm talking time frames now, guys. I'm talking time frames. Where is the rejection coming from? It's coming from the higher time frames, not from the shorter time frames. Is everybody clear? Look at the 12-hour, look at the weekly. Can you guys see that? So the rejection is coming from the momentum time frames, which is important because this then connects with what I just showed you on the DXY feed. Is everybody clear there, guys? Is everybody 100 with me there? I hope you are. So we're seeing that push downwards on the higher time frames. And it is filtering through here, all right? We go to the USD CAD, let's go and see there. Let's go see what is actually happening here. Can you guys see that zone there, that specific pivot there, that pivot? It's important. Can you see how it is actually rejecting it? Is there? Even from a daily perspective, we are still here. So there's nothing that is giving us an indication that we are 100% up. Yes, we are pro-dollar. Absolutely. We are pro-dollar. But we have to watch this very carefully here. This candle here, look where it closed. In between what I've highlighted, 1.3727 and 1.38124. This can turn into a wick and it comes back down again. So you can time that with the first 12 hours of the day. If the first 12 hours close like this, then we have an indication that we could go further up now because half of the day is already above. Is everybody clear with that? All right. So AUD USD, look at the concern here. Cheryl, you got out. TP hit there. And look, we're still there. Do you see how dangerous it is at this point? That's why I'm saying I'm concerned that dollar might have a retracement that's coming. Because we are stuck at 0.6270. Guys, please write down this zone for me. 0.62720 AUD USD. I want you to write that down. That's the area that we need to break. We need to break that zone. 62 or 0.62720. We need to break that zone. Ash, why do we have that zone? Well, simply because that's, we want to go down. We want to make some money. And the next area for us to make some money there, please write that down. 0.60647. 0.60647. So we do need the dollar to strengthen, but we're seeing that support is pretty strong. And as you can see you see that zone there? We could get something similar on that side. That area there, you push up. We could get something similar there. So let me go back and show you. Can you see that? Can everybody see what I've just done there? I hope you can, guys. This is part of the pivots in me explaining what's happening here in real time. This is important stuff to take note of because when I discuss the pivots, you'll realize, but look, this is the things that we're actually talking about in those discussions with these securities. So there's a very big chance we could get a little bit of a bounce and come back up. And if that happens, it means there's dollar weakness. And if there's dollar weakness, it lines up with option number one, which is the blue line there. Is everybody clear with what I just mentioned, guys? That is very important as it relates to the dollar pairs, not just the AUD USD. I'm talking all the dollar pairs, because all of them then would possibly have an effect there, okay? Now, if option two happens, which is the yellow line, meaning continuation, then we are looking for the same continuation here. Is everybody clear? If the continuation happens on the dollar index, we're looking for the same continuation here. Is everybody clear? All the way down to 6647. So we have both options here. Either we are continuing down or we are doing a bit of a bounce and then we go down. All right. I'm using AUD USD technically in this way so that I don't have to explain every dollar pair, because you get the overall concept now that we might experience bounces or we might get a continuation. All right. NZD USD. Look at this one here. We broke below the 0.55719. Yes. But I want you to please to note, I want you to note, let me go down to the shorter time frames. Guys, I'm seeing there's a lot of guys coming in and out. It seems like the network is, guys are jumping off, they're coming back up, on and so forth. Seems like the network is giving problems. Is there anyone else that is receiving issues or that's hearing any or having any network challenges with hearing me, sound, etc.? Is everybody clear? All right. So whilst I wait for that, I want you to notice this here. Can you guys see this zone here? Look what price is doing. We are between the high there and this one here. Let me do this. Hold on. We are between these two areas here. So can you see how the bounce can come in here as well? The bounce can cause this guy to push up completely, and then we pull up to that zone there, which could retrace till the 5.5. Can you guys see that? Which is that pivot there. Can you guys see that? So remember, this would all be shorter term. This would be the race. This would not be momentum. So if we push up further, can you see how we go and retest that zone there? Can you guys see that? It is pretty clear there. All right. No worries, Colin. Is it only Petro? Is everyone else is fine, right? Okay, cool. Everybody's clear. Network good there. Okay, beautiful. All right. Is everybody understanding this area here so far? This is race. It's a race, not the marathon. We could push up, and go to that 55934, right? I'm moving on. That's pretty straightforward to understand, right? That's pretty straightforward to understand. Let's go to GBP USD. Look at this one here. That's what I'm saying. I'm a bit concerned with the dollar. Look at the GBP USD now. We are stuck between the 110.236, which is a zone that I said to you guys we'd love to break. We rejected there. We rejected there. Right. So if we continue to go up, can you guys see that zone there? Can you see this? If we break above there, which is about 54 pips away, then obviously we are pushing towards a different high as a retracement. But we have to break it. We have to break this zone here before we push up to that. So that's 54 pips. We could go up till there. It's not like it's 14 pips. And then we push down. Everybody clear here? So that's the concern of dollar weakness short term that I'm referring to. That's it. Can we move on to Euro USD? Is everybody clear so far? We've dealt with USD Swiss franc, we've dealt USD CAD, NZD, we've dealt with the AUD, here's the GBP. Can I go to Euro USD? Let's get those ones out of the way as well. Any questions so far? Let me ask that first before I continue with the Euro USD. Any questions so far? Is everybody clear? Everybody's 100? Any questions so far? All right, I'm seeing the guys are saying no. Everybody's fine. Okay, that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Sometimes questions means you are understanding. It all depends. All right, so look at this now. Euro USD. Cheryl, look at this. Clive, same problem here. Look at that. We at the 0.96745. We want to go down to 95271, but we are currently stuck between these two worlds. It's what I highlighted yesterday. All right. Is everybody clear there? Do we still see downside? Yes, we do. We still pro dollar. But we are stuck here at the moment. We are stuck here at the moment. This wick here that I referred you guys to over there. You're welcome there, Share. You're welcome. Look at this here. There's that wick. Look at that wick. So from a daily perspective, that's the wick that we are in. This one here, that wick, that's the wick. Let me just move this so you can see. See that wick there? From that high to that area, that's where we at. I can't zoom in anymore. You almost went in. Well, you're not. So that's good, isn't it? So you're out of it. It's good. We wait, right? So look at this here. That wick from that high. Can you see that open there? We are still bouncing in between that world. So what we're saying is ultimately, I'm saying anything can happen at this point here where we are. We need the movement to go down first and close beneath. Because if the movement goes down, which is what we are looking for, then we know that price is pushing down below all the levels in here. Can you see that, guys? Now, those levels, Ash, what do you mean levels, Ash? I'm seeing a candle. What do you mean level? You're saying we're going to push down beneath those levels there. What do you mean? I'm seeing one red candle. Yes. But in that red candle, there's 96672, 96635, 96573. Can you see that, guys? There we go down. There we go down. Hold on. When we get to this area, 96151. So there is exchange rates embedded inside of this candle, which is good for runners. The guys that want to go in now, get out now. The guys that are going to trade the marathon, they don't care about this candle. Does that make sense? They want this sucker over here. Is everybody clear? The marathon runners want to go the distance. They don't care about this candle. They want to go down to 95271. They want to go further down. So the sprinters care a lot about this, but the marathon runners care a lot about this. I think that's one of the easiest ways for you to locate yourself in trading. Does that make sense, everybody? It's one of the easiest ways for you to start to locate yourself. We're about 75 on today. That's good. That's good. We've all right. Is everybody, leave this alone. There's nothing for us to do here. If you want to run into the shorter time frames, okay, go for it. But as it broke, the 6 hour hasn't. Here's the 1 hour. Not even the hour frame has broken out. That makes sense, everyone. Not even the hour has broken out. So here's a question. Can you go in now? Yes or no? Can you go in now? Can you? It's not ideal. You can, but it's not wise. You see that? So you can go in. You could have gone in there. The guy that went in there, from there to there, that's 26 pips. Can you see that? From that high to that area is 26 pips. So the guy that went in for, for a race with a lot of balance, 26 pips is okay for him if you're talking standard. But for the marathon runner there, Gert, I don't think that guy is going to see that as appealing. Can I also say this? Remember, everybody, you can be a marathon runner with a 500 Rand account. You guys know that, right? You guys know that you can be a marathon with a 500 Rand account. The only problem you have is if you put a stop and price and you don't analyze these pivot points properly. Price can move against you. It might not hit your stop, but it will move against you so much where you get a margin call. Don't forget the margin calls, all right, everybody? So if you have a 500 Rand account, a 900 Rand account, a 1,000 Rand account, all right, you can become a marathon runner, but you got to now put a balance in there to say, I got to understand my pivot points correctly. I got to understand my levels correctly, because you can't just buy in the middle of nowhere. Does it make sense, everybody? You can't just buy in the middle of nowhere and just say, I'm waiting for it to go up. Is everybody clear? That's like, and are we together? You got to build it on rock. Is everybody clear? So we're not going to build our technicals on sand, where we just jump in because we see a bunch of green candles. So we leave this alone. Let's push on. We go to USD Japanese Yen. We went in for a long yesterday. A lot of us went in for a long, myself included here. All right. And you can see at this point in time where we just move this to the left-hand side so we can see what's actually going on. We are still at our entry. Can you guys see that? Look at this. We are still at our entry. Do you see the concern that I'm referring to with possible dollar weakness first? Can you guys see that? Now, we have a stop loss at 144.801. Are we together? But here we go. Here is an emergency exit. Here's an emergency exit. If I start seeing this thing move down to this specific area, a wick can kick me out. Is everybody clear? The wick can kick me out. That means price can come down, wick up, and then price does move up eventually. So now what I'm doing, I'm saying, all right, since there is concerns here, I got to get my emergency plan into action now. So Ash, where's your emergency exit? Now, emergency exit, remember the dip. Do you guys remember the dip? When price comes down, boom. Do you see that? Price comes down. Hold on, let me show you. Price came up and then it dipped down. Can you see that, everyone? And it went up. So this is a dip here. Is everybody clear? It's like a puddle. Go put your feet in there. Who jumps in? Who puts their toe in first? I don't know. Who just jumps in? Who puts their whole feet in? I don't know. It's different for everyone. Yeah? All right? So let me add some meat to these emergency exits. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because now we're going to different... You guys know that, I mean, it's quite obvious. I'll be using silly examples, but the silly examples actually gives a lot of insight. An onion has layers. Is everybody with me? You peel back the layers to get more to the center. Emergency exits, it's not one direction. Is everybody clear? If the market moves in 3 to 5 cycles, you're not going to just find one layer. So look at this. There's 2 areas where you can have an emergency exit here. You guys see that? There's the dip. There's the puddle. Some of the guys just want to get their toes wet. Is everybody with me? Just to feel if it's cold or whatever. So this is where they put the emergency. Are you ready? Anya, Now you're going to look for the lowest area. We already have it. We actually already have it, guys. I already put it in place. Can you see this here? It's the lowest wick or the lowest high of those candles there. Can you guys see it there? There and there. Can you guys see it there and there? Everybody can see it. Can everybody see it? There and there. Is everybody clear? That's the first emergency exit. Yeah, Cheryl. The second emergency. Now we are here. Can you see the dip? Where is the shortest wick? There. We're talking about before it went up, not this area. We're saying here as it's going up, that zone there. That wick is higher than this one, this one, this one, that one, that one, that one, and this one here. Is everybody clear? So can I please show you something here quickly? Why this is two-dimensional here, Clive? Well, you know, there's 3, there's 4, but we're dealing with 2 here now. Ponch, are you ready? Price can do. Price can come down. You see this? Price can come down right here. And there's your stop loss. And then it pushes up. Can you guys see this? Pushes up, hits your stop loss and goes up. Can you guys see this? Is everybody clear? Anya, are you with me there? Check this out. Here's the second thing price can do. Price can come down. Close beneath. Are we together, everybody? Cheryl, here's where the nugget comes. Price can come down, close beneath. But then guess what? The next day, price can do this. Wick and go up. Is everybody clear with that? Can I say that one more time? One more time. Please, guys, I'm being very technical here because this just lets you know that this now is a higher low. So we're still going up. But now you got kicked out, you get frustrated. Now you have an emergency exit at the top. You have emergency exit at the bottom. Now look at this. From that one to that one is 43 pips of saving grace. Is everybody with me here? That 43 pip range there can save your position. Is everybody clear? If the daily closes beneath here, see, now that is a different story. If we close like this and we close like this, do you see that's a different story now? Because look, from there to there, we've broken a trend line now. Is everybody clear? Now we've broken a trend line. Now the whole thing shifts. Now it shifts now. Is everybody with me? Now it shifts. It's no longer a question of this just being a higher low. Because what price can do here possibly now is to do this. Here we go down further. We push up. Are we together? We push down again. And we stop right there at that zone. Do you see this? Once we're there, we push up. Look at this. Wick. I see this. Automatically this shifts now. Can you guys see this? That becomes. Is everybody with me here, guys? I'm pausing for 14 seconds there. This is absolutely possibly true. So remember, I said to you guys, you cannot trust. You can't trust price. Does it make sense, everybody? That's the reason why I 3 pip distance between number 1, which was exit at the top there, and an emergency exit number 2. If you can have TP1, TP2, TP3, why can't you have emergency exit 1, 2, 3? Does that make sense, everybody? Is everybody clear with that? How would you use your EE if it is below your stop loss? So you see, Mike, and I think I have mentioned this before, the ideal is for your stop loss to be below. That's the ideal world. Does it make sense? You'd want, because it's the safety net. So ideally, you'd want your stop loss to be below, but that's not always the case. Sometimes your stop loss is above because that's the price movement. Sometimes the candles don't give you the dips. Remember, you are working with the top of the dip and the bottom of the dip. So if price has not given you that, the unfortunate part is you got to work with what the market gives you. In this specific case, we are fortunate here. Now there's a stop loss here. Now, guys, remember, a stop loss is not replacing the emergency exit. Guys, there's no replacement here. Please don't get it guys, do it. It is technique to help you keep that window open. Does that make sense, everyone? Is everybody clear? This stop loss here, guys, all right, loss really behaves like a mechanism for the guys that don't have the time to be looking at the charts the whole time, every single day, all right? So if you have 8 hours a day where you can look at your charts, every 3 hours you are able to actually watch it, all right? Then obviously emergency exits work beautifully because you are able to come and see. But guys that can't look at the charts for 4 days. Is everybody with me here, guys? Cheryl, are you there? Gert, Clive, are you there? Ponch, are you there? All right. Which part, Tebo? Which part? Be specific there. Be specific. Let me repeat that one more time. Commander gets me, clear Siabonga, Clive, yes, all right. Which part? Fanny's yes. Let me repeat that one more time for the guys that are the ideal world, all right? The ideal world is for us to have the stop loss beneath. Let's do it like this. The guys want to move. Some of the guys want to move. Now, can you see the zone here? Look at this dip. From there, look at this, to there is 100 pips. This is exactly what I referred to. Because this is already broken out, emergency exits. Guys, at which stage does the emergency exit work very nicely? Who remembers that? This is why I say make notes. Because if you don't make notes, at which stage emergency exits? At which stage of the market must the price be? There we go. Let's give Anya a round of applause. Works at the accumulation stage. If we've already moved down, look at this, we've already moved down. So this was the accumulation stage. All right, guys, let's give Anya a round of applause. Next time, we will give you credit too, all right? So this was the accumulation phase. Everybody clear? Right there. So can you see that breakout there? This would have been a very nice entry. Is everybody with me there? That would have been a nice entry there. All right. Now look at the 2 dimensions. Can you guys see this? There's the high there. Look at this. There's the first one. Is everybody clear there? Now looking at this dip here, can you guys see this? We went down, we came back up. Where's the highest? Remember, this is highest here. We're not talking about highest from moving down because we are bearish. Everybody with me? We are bearish. So can you see here? That zone there. When you come down and we push up, the moment we push up, that's touching there. This one is about, let's just look at the distance from there to there. So this would be the other emergency exit. So here we have two areas here. Now I'm explaining the other side because that was bullish. This is bearish now. So price can do this. Price can do this. Price can move up. Let's just say we went in. Are we together? Now imagine your stop loss is here. Everybody with me there so far? I'll say it again. Now imagine your stop loss is here. Can you guys see that? Hits your stop loss and then back down again. Is everybody with me here, guys? Let me just pause there real quick. All right. So look at this. Hits your stop loss, comes back down. That's a problem. All right. So what the EE does is it gives you a 24-hour window to make a decision. The emergency exit is for the psychology of the market. What happens in our trades when price moves up, we normally get out. Are we together? We get out prematurely, then price actually does go in our direction. I cannot tell you how many times a day I get that. Emergency exit, guys, I want to really speak to the part of your brain that's... I'm not trying to speak to frustration. All right? Most traders, they get scared. That's a reality. It's the truth. I'm going to be real with you here today. They get scared. Are we together? Because from there to there is 112 pips. So most traders will get scared after it's moved up 100 pips. They'll say, guys, I'm in the wrong place. Is everybody with me? I'm in the wrong direction. It's already moved up 100 pips. I'm going to burn here. So what they do is the moment it moves up till there, they get out. And then price pushes down. Then they come back to the charts and they're like, you know what? I need to stop with this panic. Ash, how do I get over my emotions? Because that is emotional. Remember, I asked you guys, how much percentage of honesty can we take? Are we together? So that is emotional. So what the emergency exit does, it gives you a 24-hour window to monitor what you see here. Above, or will it stay there? Because by midnight, if you are still here, why did you get out? Is everybody with me? If the daily candle closes right here, let me show you what the candle can look like. If the candle comes up and closes like this, why did you get out? So that's what it did. There's the wick. Is everybody clear? So why did you get out? It was panic. And then the next day, this happens. The next day, that happens. Then that was just a lower high. So the emergency exit gives you peace of mind to say, no. Hold on. I'm not going to panic because price is going up. I'm waiting for the midnight candle to close to see where it is so that I can make a decision. Now, if the opposite happens, let's say this happens. If that happens, can you see this? That is a different mindset altogether now. Does that make sense? Because now we are traveling back into the accumulation as a resistance. Where's the resistance? I've just highlighted it there. Can you see it? So the probability is that price is high enough, or it is a higher probability we're coming back to come and revisit that area. Is everybody clear there? Now look what a stop loss does. Let's say your stop loss is here. The ideal is if your stop loss is above your areas, meaning that if you got out at this zone here, maybe you're only losing, let's say, 150 Rand. But now you leave it to run further to your stop loss, and here you lose 300 Rand. So what the emergency exit does, it saves you half of that cash, because the daily frames is what we are looking for in terms of momentum. Is everybody clear with what I just mentioned? So there are times now I'm going back to a question I had. The ideal places for a stop loss to be above or beneath. But there are times when a stop loss is going to be inside or amongst the emergency exits. It's not nice, but it happens. The ideal is for it to be there, above, but it sometimes happens that it's also here because of the 1-to-2 ratio. Can I say that again? Sometimes your 1-to-2 ratio is there, which is above, but sometimes your 1-to-2 ratio is inside. That's a challenge. And it happens. Is everybody clear? Cheryl says it's making sense. Is everybody 100 there? Cheryl, okay, Cheryl's cool. Anyone else? Is everybody else understanding what I just mentioned? See, Mike, there was never a rule that you have to use either. You choose that. This is an option to help you deal with yourself as a person. Guys, you know, I'm going to go back and say again, trading is 85% psychological. Are we together? By now, you guys should see that there is no step phases here. Is everybody with me? Guys, get away from this robotic. You got to be flexible. You got to be flexible. You cannot be robotic in stance and say, okay, well, you know, it didn't go down and now what? Guys, you got to be flexible. That's what competency is about. It's understanding that price is unpredictable at times. Sometimes it is predictable. Sometimes there's nothing that you can do. Does that make sense? So the only counter you have is to put technique in place to help you deal with unpredictability, with predictability, and the in-between. You got to put technique in place. Is everybody clear? I'll say this in conclusion with that. In conclusion with that, you have no idea who your son and daughter is going to turn out to be. You can put what you want in them, give them all principles. When they turn 21, they're going to do what they want anyway. Does that make sense? Is everybody clear? So with the market, I don't care who you are. It all depends. What's happening at that point? Respond to it by being flexible. Some guys are going to get out here. Approaches are different. Some guys are going to get out here because resistance comes there. And so if it closes above here, your stop loss is in trouble. Because this just becomes another lower high. That's it. Everybody clear there, guys? That's why it's high risk trading, isn't it so? That's why there's a disclaimer right at the at the beginning that says tick this. You understand that this is high risk trading. Are we together? Is everybody clear? All right. Can we push on, guys? Can we push on? Is that fine? Can we push on? All right. So the USD JPY we are leaving out for now. I told you about the concern I have there. Let's go to the Nasdaq, the S&P, the US 30 or Dow Jones, and then our commodities, and then we do these pivots here. All right. So Nasdaq, guys, from a daily perspective, we have closed, yes, beneath. But what's very important here, I want you to notice this line here. Can you guys see this area? Look at that wick there. All right, look at this. Look at that wick there. We are stuck in between that wick. Look at that. That's where we are right now. Is everybody clear? That's 120 pips from that area, 127 from there to there. So this is for the race or for the sprinters. Are we together? All right. Look at this, guys. We're in the wick. Can we just leave this? Now let's see how we progress. Okay, S&P 500. We're also trapped in this specific low here. I'm concerned about that dollar. All right, I'm concerned about the dollar short term. The Dow Jones, same story here, trapped. Let's just wait and see how this one pans out first. Please, guys, let's not get involved immediately. This thing can go sour the other way very fast. Everybody clear? We came so close to that high. Look at that. 19 pips away from it. All right. We spoke about Brent. We've come back into, look at this. We've come back, we've resisted 97. You can see that we are currently stuck in this pivot here. We're stuck in this pivot here. We've come back into it, which was beneath 94 and it between 90. All right. Can you guys see that there? WTI, similar. 87. We are. Let's wait and see how we perform. If we break beneath this zone here, we can take it lower, but we could get trapped here and then push up again. Let's go and see what that gold is doing. Now, remember, we're seeing dollar, a bit of dollar weakness, right? So which means gold, we should be seeing a bit of gold strength. Now, from a daily perspective, we've reached 1664, which is a zone that we had highlighted. Yes. Are we together? But from an hourly perspective, yeah, that area there, that area there. So we've reached it from there to there, 100%. 100%. Now, if we break, so we need this area to break first. Then we go down further. Sorry. No, this area here. Why that area? Because look, Ash, there. Are we together? We break that zone, we have a far lower area to go and find. Which is 287 pips away. Yeah, 1657, yes. 1657. We get a bit of a pause here. Possible retracement, and then we push down again to that zone, 1628. For now, we are still stuck here. All right, everybody clear? You can put a TP there. Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with you there. At the pause, which is there, 151 pips, 162, you can put a TP, wait for retracement, and then you take it down again. Is everybody clear with me there, guys? Everybody 100%. Let me just pause there. Make sure everybody's with me there before we move. And let's just do a quick recap. Quick one. Dollar index, we're seeing a bit of concern there, bit of weakness. All right. It's not long-term weakness. It's short-term. We could retrace back. The other option is we could have a continuous breakout to the upside. If that happens, it filters through to the other pairs that we looked at. AUD USD was the spectacle of choice that we used to look for a possible continuation or to look for a bounce. The bounce could come here to 64409 and then come down again to 60647 based on the dollar strengthening overall. So that's what we are looking at, and that's what we're analyzing. Is everybody clear there so far? The indices we're leaving alone, Nasdaq, S&P, and Dow Jones, because we want to see the reactions here with this dollar. Gold is stuck at a support, which is a barometer, a gauge that we use to do what? To look at the performance of the dollar, because we use them interchangeably. When the dollar does something, we look at gold. When gold does something, we look at the dollar. Those two give us a nice movement of, a nice prediction of what is happening in the market. Are we together? And that specific movement filters through. It helps investors make choices to get into other securities. That's the first thing. The second, are we together? Second thing was the emergency exits. All right, emergency exits, the ideal is if you get an emergency exits before your stop loss, because that helps you save money. Instead of it running all the way to your stop loss, you can get out before the time, let price go to that specific area, and then you wait for it to come back down so you can get in again. Is everybody with me here, guys? All right, is everybody with me here? Are we not seeing the fourth leg on the daily of what? Of the AUD USD. So everybody's there, right? On which chart? On the daily. On gold. Okay, let's go to gold, the fourth leg. Be more specific, Mike. The fourth leg, I mean fourth cycle. Referring to this. Let's see. I'm referring to this. The cycle. Okay, got you. All right. So from a daily perspective, do you see this resistance here? Can you see that? Not resistance, sorry, support. All right. So let's look from the support up. Can you see that zone there? So can you see this is one? Can you see that? That is one. From that support. Is everybody clear there? So there you have one. Can you see that? Can you guys see this? Let me just make sure everybody's there. Two. Three. Can you see in what cycle are you guys? Is everybody clear here? Cycle 3. 1. So can you see how we can still push down to that zone there, which corresponds? That could be cycle 4 right there, which will correspond with that one there. Is everybody clear there, ladies and gentlemen? So we are currently on the daily frame. We are on cycle 3. We're at the top of cycle 3. All right, everybody clear? All right. Cycle 3, all right, not 4. Cycle 3, not 4. All right. So everybody's clear. So heading about. We understand the emergency exits. We understand where we are. Can I just confirm? I'm going to move on. I'm going to go to the pivots. I just want to make sure everybody's 100%. Everybody understands 100%, and then I can push on. All right, let me just make sure. All right. All right, so AUD. To you, Teresa. All right. All right, so here we go. Remember, there's two kinds that I mentioned yesterday. There's two kinds that I mentioned yesterday. The first one was the momentum. All right. Thanks, Laik. There's two kinds here. You have the pivots that work with the momentum. Are we together, everybody? It's unfortunate I was have to leave. Just tune into the YouTube channel, all right, my friend? Get on videos there, you can see the revision, okay? So there's two pivots or two kinds or two types here as it relates to. First one is the momentum pivots. That deals with the direction of the price. That's the first one. Now, when we look at these points, these key levels, major levels, whatever you want to call them, the definition, or at least how to identify them, is where or what did price do after that specific area. Is everybody with me? Guys, can I just maybe just ask this? I know there's a lot of typing. If it's at all possible, just hear what I have to say here, please, guys, because I want you guys to really get this thing. You know, these are such important stuff, and it's really going to help you build yourself up as a trader. So if there's any distraction, anything, even if it's yourself, please, guys, I'm going to ask very nicely. Let's focus. All right. This can only benefit you. All right. So here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. To identify these areas, one needs to look price do there. Did price move away? Did price contract or stay there, or did it move down? Is everybody with me? Because if you can look at what price did there, it tells you what the momentum was in that moment. So as an example, where do you find these pivot points? You find them, or these major levels, momentum now. You find them in between specific periodic days or periods, all right? So yearly periods are important, annual periods, all right? Monthly, weekly. Is everybody with me? So look at this. This is a monthly time frame. So which means this is 1 year. Is everybody with me here? This is 2 years, 3, 4. You guys will ask the question, Ash, how far back must I look for price movement? Here's year one, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 years. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So the past 10 years, AUD, NZD, there's been a struggle between the two. Can you guys see that? Let me pause there and I'll ask for the response. Is everybody clear? The past 10 years, the AUD, NZD has been struggling with each other. You guys know that they're on the same side of, in terms of west and east. They're not far from each other. They move together many times. You guys know when the NZD moves, AUD moves. So remember, now I'm even bringing back to fundamentals now. Are we together? when the AUD, the NZD, they are normally affected. These guys are struggling with each other. They like neighbors in a weird way. Does it make sense, everybody? I find you have to fly across to get to the one, but they are neighbors within that specific Eastern hemisphere or that Eastern side of the world. All right, everybody. So past 10 years, we've now seen, all right, there's been a struggle. Now we have to go into a bit more detail with that struggles. And we're only dealing with momentum now. We're not even dealing with any entries, nothing. We're just dealing with what has happened the past 10 years with these guys here. All right, so I'm going to take this off now, and we're going to work in some more detail at those specific points. Now, let's go and highlight the start of the year, the start of every year. There's the start of the year. Can you guys see? There's the point number one. Here's point number two. Now, what you can do is, because of time, this is what I want you to do. You can put this on and your chart will be saved on that specific one as is. You can actually go and make it so accurate for that one candle by putting a high and a low. Hold on. You see it's jumping. Let's do it like this. Hold on. Let's do it like this. That high there. And this low here. Can you guys see what I've just done here? That zone. That zone. This is a key level. The key level, major level, pivot point. Sometimes it can be very stubborn. That's why you say you need time, you need a bit of patience. Sorry, guys. All right, let's just leave it like this. Let's leave it like that, because I don't want to waste time by trying to get it. So can you guys see already in between this zone here and this zone here? Can you see how price was hanging in this? Is everybody clear? Now watch here. I'm going to take a different color. I'm going to take a different color. I'm going to make it, let's make it yellow. The struggle. This is the struggle between the AUD and the NZD. Where were the areas that was so strong, where price kept on bouncing to and fro? Can you guys see here? Because normally the guys will say, okay, so where are the key levels here? You can't always identify where they are. Is everybody clear? Because there's so many candles, so many wicks there. So you have to make it clear where these areas are from a momentum perspective. Ponch, does that make sense? All right, I'm going to do another level now. You can see the consolidation much more clearly. You can see where it's been bouncing on and from. Do another one, all right? Hold on. I see there's a lot of guys coming in. All right, there's a lot of guys that's coming in and out, and the network is just not one. You'll get it. Look at this here, there. There's the next one. Now look here, guys. If I put that area there, look at this. It still falls within. Hold on. These are the major areas where price is struggling now. And you can do this for all of them. Look at this one here. Stuck right there. This one has a small little guy to the downside. That has happened. Look at that there. It's valid. So if you place it or you do this, you're going to have more than 4 rectangles. But that what that essentially does is it's going to then show you, once you put them all in, where are the major ones that you are looking for. because you're not going to have all 4 or 5 on. You can't do that. It's going to be too much work. It's going to be too cluttered. So you are only doing a little bit of analysis to show you more or less. So this one here, this is in between. You can see this here. We don't even care about this. After this pivot point here, that's the highest one. Out of this entire range, this is the highest. The next pivot point for us is over there. That's the next area for us. This is from a momentum perspective. Is everybody clear? This is for us to look at the direction here. So from there to there, let's put one there so you can see it. Ultimately, if you were a marathon runner, this would be the next area. Is everybody clear? That you're leaving it to run to. But now, between there and there, can you guys see? Between there and this area here, there are places in between. Does that make sense? Is everybody clear? So between there and where price is now, there are areas in between. So now we go to this side. Can you guys see this? This is a very, very tricky place here. This place here. Hold on. Let me pause. Let me make sure everybody's here. All right. Let me make sure everybody's here so that I know that you're with me. Now, let me ask the question. Do we care about this last rectangle here? I drew it, but I want to know by you. Do we really care about that at this point in time? Do we really care about it? All right. We don't, because price is, you can see it is on the other side. I drew it to show you that this was the extension of that range. So you can take that off. Does it make sense, everyone? You can actually take it off. Say, no, it's fine. So you don't clutter yourself. Does it make sense, everybody? You want to get it to be as clear as possible. So now we know we've broken out of the last pivot point there. Can you guys see this? The last one. That was the last one. This was the last one here. There. When I say last one, I'm talking about the highest point. Look at all of them here at the bottom. For that side, for this side here, that's 8. There's 9 points. And this was the highest. And we've successfully broken above it. So now that we've broken above it, we know that there are some buyers in the market. Now let's go to the cycles. Are we on cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3? Where are we here now? Momentum speaking. You see, we have to bring in those things. You can't omit it now just because the pivot points are there. What cycle are we at here, guys? What cycle are we in here? Talk to me. Are you sure? What defines a cycle? What defines a cycle? See, now I'm testing if you guys are writing this stuff down. Let's give Anya a round of applause and Angel. A cycle is defined by the resistance that was broken. This is a resistance. We've not entered cycle 1 yet. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Is everybody there? Cycle 1, you must break through the resistance. So if we break above this area 114, now look at this. From there, now we cut this in half. I'm bringing all of these things together. All of them together. I was thinking, what did I just do there now? I was thinking, Cheryl, when the thing moved like, I'm like, oh my word, what did I just do now? All right, hold on. So now I'm going to put, you can do both ways. It doesn't matter. Because remember, what you're trying to highlight are these zones, 50%, just preference. Yeah, it's not. So let me make this a different color so you can see what's going to happen now. Because now we're dealing with marathon runners. Now we're dealing with sprinters. So between the resistance for cycle 1 to appear, are we together? We have halfway here. Now, look at this area here. Can you guys see this zone here? We're on the monthly. Now watch very carefully here. Watch very carefully here. When I go to a weekly, I'm dropping down to a weekly, and I'm going to move to the left. Look at the resistance. So we're still beneath the resistance. That's our halfway mark. Everybody can see it, right? Let's go. Let's see if there's any points. And you got to look for them. This is the halfway mark. Can you guys see this here? Look at this. Look where that one stopped. Right there. Weekly. It stopped right at our destination. Can you guys see this? This is halfway, 1.18. Remember, this is halfway. Hold on, let me do this. This was halfway. All right? This here was our destination. Don't forget, we need to break this to be cycle. This has to be cycle 1. Does it make sense? We need to break that resistance. So look at this area there. If I zoom in, it stops right there at our 1.23724. Can you see that, Cheryl? Is this valid then? Is this valid? Yes or no? Is this valid? That's 1999. 1999. Is it possible, Ash? Yes, of course it's possible. Now watch here. Cycle 1 must be broken here. Remember I said to you, that's the resistance. Now what's happened in the past? After it broke our resistance, did I not just draw that resistance? And I said to you, we are not in cycle 1 yet. Why? Because you can clearly see after it breaks it. Is everybody clear? Can you see this? Look at this. So there's the resistance, 1.14379. There's it right there. Rejects, rejects, rejects. Are we together? Breaks, beautiful candle, retracement up to our halfway mark. After our halfway mark, comes back down again. You can see this was the cycle, and then we push up, boom, hits the 1.23 in the past. Now this is dealing with the direction, guys. With the direction, I'm pausing right there. I want to make sure everybody's with me. I want to make sure everybody is with me here. So this is important right there. That's important right there. That's important right there. I'm pausing right there. 14 seconds. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. I'm only dealing with the momentum. This is not 1 hour, 4 hour, 6 hour. This is monthlies, weekly, dailies. That's it. If I go back a little bit further, let's see. Let's see. It is definitely a strong area, 1.14. That's the end of the chart. That's the end of the chart. Look at the rejection there, 1.14. All right. So from a momentum perspective, now we know I'm back at the front. 114 is an area for us to keep on going up to 1. Direction. Is everybody with me here? Everybody's here, right? So now we want to drop down and deal with the second type of pivots. Are you ready? Are you ready? Because now we're dealing with the racers, the sprinters, the Usain Bolts. How do you get your chart? Or unclick or deactivate by clicking on this specific one here. That's how you go back. All right, it should not be highlighted. All right, so now we're dealing with the guys that's doing you know, hourlies, minutes, and so forth. We have now found out that 1.14 and the retracement of 1.14 is valid from where? The past. So if it's done it before, can it do it again? If it's done it before, can it do it again? Excuse me, just like there, just keep in mind, remain flexible. You need to adapt your schedule. And yes, gotta remain flexible. You gotta adapt. All right, so now look at this. All right, so now we drop down. Now look at the daily now. Look at the daily. And now you really need to pay attention. Now you really, because getting the momentum is the easiest. It is in the webs where people get stuck. Or ask a fly that gets into a spider web. If you could speak to flies, ask them. Are we together? Now you need to really pay attention. You need to sweat all frustration off right now, because the moment you speak to frustration now, it's going to go over your head. It'll go over your head. Now, let us look between 114, which we validated, and 1.09. All right. Can you guys see that? Now look at the 50%. Look where it is. %50 is right at that pivot there. So in between, let's look how many pivots there is between 114 and 1.09. So let me make it a different color so you can see. Let me make this a different color. Let's make it. Can you guys see the green? You can see the green, right? There's some colors where I know the guys can't see. So now let's go and highlight. In between 114 and 112, you have that zone. You have that zone. You have that zone. This one, and that one. Is everybody there? Is it only Punch that complains about that? All right. Okay, guys, listen, I feel like teasing and laughing, I'll be honest. But guys, let us just please, please, I want everybody. Because this part, you know, I sometimes, you know, my my wife, when I laugh at my son when he cries, she says, "How can you sit there and just look at him cry?" You know, I like teasing. All right, I like teasing and making jokes. Are we together? But there's a time and a place, you know. And it's like you can punch at that starting. So please, guys, please. How many areas are there between 114 and 1.09? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Have we passed number 1? Have we passed number 1? That's I mean, yes, we have, Shay. We below it. We below it. We are past it. Meaning coming down. So here's the second one. So guess what? If you take this away, the block, I want you to see the zone that I'm constructing now. Inside of an inside. Layers. Layers. Do you see that zone there? Now that's the daily, right? Are you ready for this, Clive? From there to that bottom there is 100 pips. Do you see the races now? Mbo. Watch what I do when I go down. 12 hour. 8 hour. Do you see this? Do you see how close it is? Inside 114 and 112. Let me make this yellow. There's one. There's one. There's one. Here's one here. So can you see inside 112 and 114, there's one, there's two, obviously this is three there, 4, 5, 6, right? So price now, and they're not going to take it to there, 100 pips. Ubulaik, they'll take it here as an example. Do you see there? To that end there, 38 pips. Does it make sense here, guys? Clive, does it make sense? So from there, they would have taken it from that pivot point. Do you see that one there? They would have shorted it from that area there. From there, down, 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 down to that zone there. 83 pips. It's inside 114, 112. So inside there, inside here. So let me just take this one off there so you can see what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with this area now. Now watch. Here's the minute, guys, now. But now you got to move back, because if you don't move back, you can't see if there's any pivot points. So we pass. Can you see that zone there? On 12, 419. Look where they're getting out. There's guys on a 30-minute chart. They would have got in there. It's getting out right here, 68. So we went down from 80 to from 100 to 80 to 60 pips. So the shorter you go, looking for layers within layers within layers, your pip distance becomes narrower. But there's guys that will take that and say, I'm putting 10 standard lots on 60 pips. I'm not going to wait for it to go to 1.11. That is too far down. I'm not interested. These are the guys that are scalping now. Do you see? We started from a momentum, showed you the pivot points of where price resisted, coming down, possibly now, and then segmenting it into smaller pieces. Does that make sense to everybody here? So the pivot points is going to be different from a monthly time frame all the way to a 12, to a 4, to a 1, to a 30-minute, to a 6-minute. It's going to be different. And that's where you need to start finding yourself to say, listen, if I don't have time during the day, are you really going to go and look for a pivot? Honestly speaking, if you are working from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in, during the day, are you really going to go and look at a minute chart? No. So yours is going to be within monthly, weekly, daily, 12-hour. You're going to be working with those areas. So this would have been a beautiful trade for someone that is working a 9 to 5, that doesn't have time during the day, but they can leave the trade to run. They come back in the evening to see how it's performed. So you basically is taking smaller. Yes, it's exactly that. And you are using the pivot points, the major levels, the key areas to show you where price respects, where price moves from and to and stays. Because you can see this area here, price jumped up from there. Does that make sense, everybody? At this area, price moved away. From that area there, price moved away. From this area here, price stayed a little bit there, but then pushed. So price either contracts to that specific pivot point, or it moves down from it, or it goes up. Does that make sense? Can I say that again? Those points, price either contracts to it, all right, is moving and consolidating within it, or it's moving, breaking out of it, which is up, or breaking down, all right, which is obviously bearish. Is this making sense, everybody? I want you to obviously do revision, but what's also key for us here is not a once-off thing that I'm dealing with here. Me explaining it to you, I then come and apply it into our technicals on these specific securities. So it's not like I'm going to stop here today and be like, it's done. No, tomorrow, the next day, etc. When I'm analyzing with you guys, I'm using these points as references, as practice rounds. Can I please say this to you guys? I found there is really, really power. Don't. A test dummy was designed to die, to sacrifice. So one session is just a test dummy. So don't get frustrated with the one session. Does that make sense, everybody? We have more test dummies coming. There's more practice rounds coming. And the more test dummies you put in the car, you test how safe the car is. Does that make sense, everybody? So now you begin to test how safe you are and is. So let's recap and look at all these blocks here, because that is us peeling the layers off now. All right. Now watch this. Look at this. Momentum. We know where we are. 1 point. We have not gone into cycle 1 yet. We need price to break out cycle 1 so we can take it to 1.18. Resisted from 1.14, almost past the halfway candle of the previous month. So that's a very strong resistance. For price to be pushed down from there, in the past we saw it. The 1.14379 is a valid resistance. And once it was broken, at this point, we are retracing, and we have been up until where could it possibly retrace to? And we found the 1.11 area here at the bottom to be the zone for now. If we break 1.11, areas there, these areas become the next support. Which is the one on top? That one. So we find our support here. Does that make sense, everyone? Here. So this becomes our next area of support. Not that one, Clive, not this one. Do you see that? It would be this block here. That's why it's good to draw the block so you can identify and say, that's the next block. That's the one on top. That's the one that I'm using. Does it make sense? Could we enter now or wait? See, if you're going to enter now to 1.12. So if you enter now and you go down there, that's 11 pips away. So if you enter now, you're going to that pivot point that we put there. Now, what has it done before? It has bounced. So if you enter for the short, you get 10 pips, but then it bounces. Then what? You're in trouble. Because it's done it before. Remember, go and look what price has done before. So can you see there? It's bounced up before from there on the 12-minute. Now let's go back. We need it. It breaks. Can you see it? Then we can go down to the levels below. So be very careful here now. That's why I say minute frames are more riskier, because the bounces can happen. And if it happens, you're in trouble. Guys, I'm going to encourage you, go to the YouTube channel, revise, watch it again. I will continuously practice this with you. Is everybody with me? I will continuously practice this with you so that you see it whilst we're doing it in the live price. Is everybody clear? Is everybody clear with that, guys? Let me make sure everybody's 100 there before I push it. Yeah. All right. Guys, can I also encourage you here? You're one human being. All right. I'll never put pressure on you to get this thing 100% immediately. Please do not be hard on yourself in any way. You're one human being. Are we together? You've got 10,000 other things to think about as a person. Some things just take a bit of time. Is everybody clear? So don't put pressure on yourself. That's a mistake that you make, that we all do. We all do that at times. Does it make sense, everyone? In this case, you don't need to put pressure on yourself. There's certain things that must just be processed. It just must be. All right? Processed so that you can get the understanding, and revising is going to help. All right, everybody clear? Everybody clear? All right. I'll see you guys in the next, after the next 5 days, especially women. Yeah, especially women with very busy brains. I'll see you guys after the next 5 days. It will be Doc with you from tomorrow. Yeah, we're done for the week. Doc will be with you guys tomorrow up until next week, and then I'll be with you again. So it's going to be very nice to deal with this next week, Wednesday, because I'm gonna really look forward to next week, Wednesday, to see the applications. Everybody clear there? So please go and look at it, apply it. Are we together? All right. I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday. You guys, lekker one. Absolutely, absolutely. And all the guys on YouTube that was not in the classes, get to Quick Trade. Right?